We fully endorse the approach which conditions EU funds with EU values, increases the benefits for all citizens of the Western Balkan 6 now, and at the same time accelerates full membership into the European Union for those who are committed. We believe that membership in the European Union should be driven by merits and based on values. This growth plan is not just a possibility for reforms and economic growth, but also a chance for closer regional cooperation and integration among the Western Balkan countries. We must therefore be constructive in our engagement and conscious of the transformative power of our decisions. As shown in the last 3 years with the improvement on democratic and economic indicators, Kosovo is ready for reforms. For the region to integrate economically and for the citizens to get closer, security threats must cease. Deeper integration and increase of flow of people and goods requires mutual trust and normal relations among our countries, institutions, and our people. This cannot happen if the freedom to goods is used to move weapons and ammunition.
We need to set a political circle, like we were last night, to be meeting in regular base, because although we are very enthused today, we are still Balkan people, you know, and if you don't come and bring us together, we are ready to fuck up again. So technically, secondly, the technical coordination. It's very important that the ministers of integration of our 6 countries get a clear message from the leadership. They should be agnostic of history and they should be Daltonic. Daltonism is a kind of disease that forbids you to see the colors. So they should not see the colors of the flags. They should not realize, they should forget what colors has every flag of our countries. And their only flag should be, you know, the make it or break it of the EU. So they should sit down and go just technically in every detail, green lanes and all this and all this and all this, to make it happen.
I see the European Union's growth plan as a facilitator, opening the gates to the European single market and the free flow of goods, services, capital, and people. This structured framework, enhanced with financial support, becomes the key for seamless integration. It encourages the adoption of European Union regulations and standards promoting economic integration, both within the region and the European Union. This dual integration strategy not only accelerates the European Union accession process, but also brings immediate benefits such as increased trade and investments, improved competitiveness, and enhanced regional connectivity.
Speaking about common regional market, we'll be fully open for all the ideas, ready to deliver on it, and I believe that we'll be able to do so. And I have a big plea for all of you from regional organizations and from European Union to be helpful to us on some issues, because we'll have to resolve some difficult problems that we'll face with. And you know that we have to align ourselves, speaking about economic measures, subsidy policies and everything else before we enter European Union.
The objective being to double the size of your economies. The lesson from previous enlargements is that this is generated through trade and the internal market. This is what really moves the cursor. I often mention the fact that in the 2000s, trade between the then acceding member states and the EU, the then existing EU, tripled, increased by 300% on the back of progressive market integration. This changes everything. And that's really what this growth plan is about. Now, it means hard work because getting into the internal market is about the nuts and bolts. And therefore, from our side, we are rolling up our sleeves to assist you. I'm very encouraged by your personal commitment to it. It will only happen if the governments in the region really make this a top priority and ensure that the changes are necessary. Now, the logic here is that we would help you to integrate amongst yourselves as you integrate in the internal market. And I think that is absolutely crucial because without integration in the region, you will simply not be able, given the size of the economies, to benefit sufficiently from the internal market. So the two must go hand in hand. And therefore we have introduced a condition in this part of the growth plan, which is that you should not block your neighbors. So we want you to come on board, and you can only block yourself. So if you don't block your neighbors, we will get you on board. But if you block your neighbors, then access to the internal market is not going to be possible. Because the costs for everyone, the collective costs of non-cooperation are very high.
In this process, nobody gets to veto each other. Each country works on its own, maybe in small groups with others, but nobody gets to stop a deal from going forward because they have some unrelated bilateral dispute. Any country that tries will suffer some consequence itself. But this sets the pace. Allows a small group of countries to decide how it's going to move forward, as long as we're all headed the same way. If some country wants to wait, sit, watch, then it's for the citizens of that country to decide whether those political leaders are the right ones. And I think what I was really encouraged by in our discussion is how much each of the leaders recognized the importance of moving forward in this way. So with that, again, I think this is a really hopeful meeting, but it's also a promise for hard work from all of us sitting at this table.